Hey team! We have had some technical difficulties, but we are here, and the third time is the charm, and we are speaking it into existence. This training is going to happen. It is going to happen. Okay, I spoke it into existence. Done. It's going to happen. So, Kylene is going to share with us how she fits her Color Street business into the cracks of her life, amongst being a mom, a wife, a Sunday school teacher, a coach, a nurse, all kinds of stuff. And she still finds time for Color Street and very successful with it. So, Kylene, you go ahead and take it away, and we're going to keep our fingers crossed and our hands raised that this works.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for having me today. A little bit about myself. I am a wife of 19 years to my husband. We raised 3 kids of his from a previous marriage. So I also have 6 grandsons, along with the 2 of our girls that we have together. Our girls that are home are 7 and 9 and are very busy. It's soccer season and they're getting to play this year, so they're super excited. And mom gets to coach along with everything else that I do. I'm a full-time ICU nurse, actually the charge nurse, day shift charge nurse on our floor, and have been working 3 to 4 12-hour shifts a week through COVID. I also drive an hour one way to work. So my 12-hour days that I don't ever get out of work on time end up being 14, 15 hours, sometimes 16-hour days, depending on what's going on. So that doesn't leave me a lot of time with everything else that I do, including coaching, including church, which is one of my important things, and Sunday school. So when Ashley was bugging me about being a Color Street stylist, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can squeeze the time in. I had done other sales before and just it didn't work for me. But I was like, hey, we'll give it a try. I was looking for something different. I needed something to kind of bring a little bit of spark or life back into my life for me, because COVID has not been easy on my end as a nurse. So this was kind of my outlet. My way of reaching out to others other than COVID, which I'm sure we're all tired of. Mm-hmm. So Color Street was first introduced to me back last summer with a sample. Like many other people, my sample sat on the dresser for months. To others other than. I had it sitting there and was invited to a party. I got more samples and I thought, oh, let's try it. I had done other nail things before and was like, I don't know if this is going to work. As a nurse, I wash my hands all the time. We use hand sanitizer. Is it going to last? Is it going to be worth my time? Well, I gave it a try and fell in love, found out that it does work. I can make it work for 2 weeks or more, really. So I fell in love with the product, followed Ashley's group for quite some time. Learned a lot of tips, tricks, a lot about the product. And she started introducing me kind of to and putting the bug in my ear about becoming a stylist. Like I said, I was like, there's no way. I don't have time. I'm working so much. How am I ever going to make it work? And she's like, you just need to give it a try. She was probably on me for about 2 months, I would say. My sister had a party. It was a successful party. It was a lot of people that I knew in her party. And I was like, man, if I was her hostess or her stylist, I would have been making bank. Mm-hmm. And Ashley's like, Kylene, you're answering all the questions before I can. Why aren't you doing this? So on January 9th, I was like, why not? Let's jump in. Let's see. My initial goal was to earn free nails for myself because I liked the product and was spending enough myself to support my own business. Also, my family was in Hawaii just before COVID hit last year, and our goal is to go back in the spring of next year. So my goal was, if I can sell enough Color Street by the end of the year, by December, to buy 4 tickets round trip tickets to Hawaii, then I'll be happy.
Oh my God.
Fast forward 4 months into Color Street. My first month, I sold over $600. I BQ'd and sold over $600 and was like, wow, this was like easy. Didn't take much. Let's see what I can do the next month. The next month, I think I sold over $1,800 in Color Street and became a senior stylist. So I started moving on. March was a big month for me. I hit Circle of Excellence by signing on to stylists and hitting a goal of over $1,600 again. My goal for like after I hit 1,000 that second month, I'm like, oh, I'm going to hit 1,000 every month. That's my goal. This month, I am so close to becoming a senior stylist, hopefully by the end of this month, if not next month. That is my goal. But I've sold over $2,000 worth of Color Street this month in my busy life. So what can I tell you about it? I've never dreamed it would be able to be workable, but it has. I found a little niche, and that's what everybody kind of has to do, is find out what works for them. You take your time and make it worth your while, I guess I should say. Make it important, make it focused, I should say. I struggle sometimes where I have just a little bit of time and it's like, what do I do? What do I do? So I have to prioritize. What are the first things I have to do? I always have lists. Like Danielle, I'm a paper and pen person. So I have Post-its and papers everywhere of lists of things that need to get done. Do I struggle with getting things done? Sometimes, but you know what? That's the nature of life and the nature of this business. So I just go with it. Ashley, I'm always saying, Ashley, I can't do it. I'm falling behind. She's like, just roll with it. You're fine. You're doing fine. Just roll with it. So that's what I just keep reminding myself. Just roll with it. My VIPs understand. And that's probably the most important thing I want you to let you know, is just be honest with your people. Be honest with your VIPs, be honest with your party people. Let them know your life is busy and that you can't always get to things right away, but you will.
Yeah.
And make sure you do. I will say I have a party from the beginning of last month that I am now sending out thank yous for and Tuesday rewards. It is what it is, but they know that's my life.
Yeah.
So a little bit about my day and how my days go. I'm usually up by 5:30 every morning, whether I'm going to work or staying home for the day. If I'm going to work, I'm up by 5:30. I'm packing 3 lunches. I'm getting my husband out the door, getting stuff for my girls ready for school so that my mom can get them off to school after I leave for work. Head off to work my day, come home, sometimes have to make dinner, but then get the girls to bed. When do I have time to do Color Street? Well, let me tell you, I figure it out. A lot of my training is saved videos, saved lives like this that I save in a folder that is strictly titled training on Facebook. So when I'm in my car, I pull one up and I listen. So I have an hour on my way to work. I have an hour on my way home. I listen. If it's something that I really want to stick, sometimes I'll listen to it 2 or 3 times in the car, because I am a note taker. And if I'm driving, I can't take notes. So I have to listen a couple of times.
Yes, I was going to say that's me too sometimes. When I'm in the car, I'm like, I can't even listen to this because I'm wanting to pull up the notes on my phone so I can type stuff in because we're so much.
Sometimes I will listen in the car and sometimes I'll be like, okay, I got to go back and listen at home again. But I at least listen to it the first time in the car. So that is a lot of the time when I do my training. When do I do my posts for my VIP group? I will tell you, I try to do posts. I try to do at least 2, if not 3 posts a day, sometimes more, depending on what my time allows for. But I try to at least schedule 2 posts a day, at least a week ahead, if not a month ahead. My goal is to have the whole month done. And when I say scheduled, it may just be a graphic that I schedule for 9 o'clock in the morning. On my VIP group, I have started doing like at 6:30 in the morning, posting a quote, an affirmation.
I love that.
something to get your day started. It also helps me think about it because I need that. Yeah. I need the reassurance myself. And when I put it out there, it's like, okay, I'm saying this to myself because I'm saying it to everybody else. So when I post those and schedule those, I sometimes just post the graphic, at least to get it scheduled. Mm-hmm. Do my graphics sometimes go out with anything being typed in there from me? Yes. Is that okay? Yes. Mm-hmm. Do I like it that way? No, not necessarily, but I have to accept that. When do I find time to put the meat, as I call it, or the wording to my graphics? A lot of times it is at night when I'm laying in bed with my girls while they're going to sleep. I will pull up the next day's graphics and I will edit them, and then I'm done for the next day. And that's just how life is. Sometimes you have to find the teeniest, tiniest moments to get something done. So I try, like I said, to have my graphics posted at least a week, if not 2 weeks in advance. Parties, those come and go so quickly that if I have my month set in my VIP group, I have more time to focus on parties. And that's where it's at, is your parties. Yeah, your VIPs are helping you out, but the parties is where it's at. So that's where I try to focus and spend my most time with follow-ups and touching base and making sure I'm answering questions or anything like that. When do I do that? Again, when I have time. I may have a post scheduled for noon at a party, and I may not get to respond to anybody until I'm at home at 9, 10 o'clock at night in bed. They'll see it when they get up if they're not up at that time, but at least I'm responding. So I literally just take what I need to do and slide it into times. I have trouble sometimes figuring out what I need to do first. And if I'm struggling, the best thing for me to do is walk away from it. I walk away and go do something else and come back and look at my list and say, okay, A, B, and C needs to be done. B is the most important. So let's work on that. And do I set timers? Yes. I will give myself 20 minutes if that's all I've got. And I will set a timer and say, you've got 20 minutes to get this done. If it's not done in 20 minutes, okay, when I have the next 20 minutes, that's when I pick it up.
Yeah, I love that. You're like a Danielle, I swear, because that's the same, that's what I preach all the time. It's not just with Color Street, but like you said, using the Post-its, making the list, and having, number one is I want to, follow up with people from that party last week. Number two is I need to reach out to my new VIPs. And you make those lists. That way, when you do have 15 minutes, instead of scrambling for 15 minutes trying to figure out what to do and then getting lost in social media wonderland, you have those things already out there. So when you have that 15 minutes, you can make that 15 minutes intentional. So I love everything you're saying. I'm like, preach, girl.
Yeah. It's time. I mean, sometimes it's hard. You just got to figure it out. I didn't believe Ashley when she told me that I would do this and be successful at it. And I am, and I'm actually loving every minute of it. This is what I do for me. Part of what I do for me every day is Color Street, because I'm reaching out, I'm connecting. I'm a people person. I love to have that response from people. I love to hear what they're thinking. I love to brighten their day. I love to make them think about things to help their person be a better person. Mm-hmm. Lives, Danielle, I'm like you. My lives 90% of the time are in the car driving down the road.
Yes.
I'll be like, okay, ladies, I'm on my way to soccer, or I'm on my way to work, or I've just got off work and I'm headed here. So that's what they know me for. That's how they know me, and it's okay. I think we all get caught up sometimes in what do they want to see or what do they not want to see. And I have to remind myself just to be myself, because that's what they want. They don't want fake. They don't want a rigid this, and this. So I give them what I can give them, and that's what I do. I have some people that are my silent people that I don't hear from. That's okay. I know they've seen my post. It shows on the bottom of the page that they've seen my post. They're there, they're following. Someday they'll speak up. Let me see what, as far as posts go and graphics, saving time. I don't have time to sit and make graphics. Yes, sometimes I do. Most of the graphics I make are for my parties, for their picture on the top of their party group and that kind of thing. That's usually, and my thank yous are about the only graphics I do. Everything that I post in my VIP group is from the graphic groups. I'm constantly saving. I have so many folders on Facebook for nail fees that I want to share, tips and tricks I want to share, business things I want to share. And I just pull. I just keep pulling. Okay, I need to add this in somewhere. I need to add this on somewhere. It saves me time. If it weren't for the graphic groups, I probably wouldn't be able to do this. So utilize those things that are at hand for you. They're there for a reason. Don't feel bad about using somebody else's graphic. They wouldn't share it for you to share if they didn't want you to.
Exactly. Those graphics groups, I swear, are a saving grace. Like you said, the tips and tricks that are shared, the game nights that are shared, the national holidays with the cute little thumbnails of the nail. I mean, there's so much in there, and parties. I mean, it's that right there is what you call a rabbit hole, because you can go in there and, oh my gosh, by the time you've got 100 graphics and you're like, oh my gosh, like what am I
and I do. You get 100 graphics and then you're like, okay, when do I share these and how do I get them all shared? Because you want to do them all right now. Yes. Well, the other thing I use is calendars. Danielle shares a calendar. There's calendars in those graphic groups for things to share each day. I know some people have certain days they share certain things. I don't necessarily follow that. But because I've started my business the way I have, kind of running from the get-go and trying to figure things out from the get-go, I'm still trying to tweak my VIP page and find out what I like, what my VIPs like. So I ask for a lot of feedback. What do you guys want more of? What do you want to see more of? So occasionally I'll post, hey, what are you missing from me? And then I'll start throwing that in, or I'll make it a day and say, this is the day we're sharing tips. This is the day, you know. Mondays, I usually typically ask, hey, what you wearing? It's what you got on your nails. It's okay if you don't have anything, just share with us what you're wearing. Yeah. I have another place that I pull things from as far as posts is I have several devotional books that I will pull things from. I just picked up, it's called a Women's Gratitude Journal. It's got 200 days or 200 topics that they've kind of given you a quote or a scripture for, and then it asks the questions. And I'm like, wow, it's all written right here for me. I need to do this myself, but why not share it with my group? So I have 200 days worth of posts that I can use for $5 that I picked up somewhere. Wow. It's making me a better person, but it's also helping my business. Follow-ups, like I said, that's probably where I struggle the most because of time. How do I follow up with people? I get it in when I can get it in. If I get a lunch break at work, I try to maybe or reach out to a couple people at lunch. If I'm riding in the car, if we're headed somewhere, I'll send a message to somebody. Whenever I get a chance, whenever I may have a couple of minutes, not a longer period of time, that's when I throw in my follow-ups. Because I can say, hey, I got a few minutes to chat. Let's chat for a few minutes, see how things are going. And then if I have to run, I'll say, hey, let me follow up with you in a little bit. I've got to get back to work. Or, you know, I'm glad to chat with you. We'll chat again soon. My husband is always asking me, what are you laughing at? Or what are you smiling about? When we're sitting in the living room watching TV in the evening, a lot of times it's because I'm chatting to somebody about Color Street. It just warms my heart when I'm connecting with that person and we're sharing about our day and talking about Color Street and things like that. That's what they want. So they understand if you're busy. They understand. So I think sometimes we're our own worst critic.
Oh yeah.
And that's okay, but we need to let that go, because one thing I've had to learn is I feel bad when I don't get something done or when I don't post something. But you know what? I'm the only person that knows that I didn't do it or that I didn't post it. Nobody else does. So why am I worried about it?
Yeah.
That's really, really what this business is about. You make it what you can make it be. You get out of it what you give. Do I have a lot of time to give? No, not always. Have I made it work? Yes. Time, just use it wisely. That's, the biggest thing.
Yes. You
The
have to be
kids love,
very, very intentional, I think.
yeah.
And I love that you said, if something goes wrong, nobody knows but you. And that's something that I tell newer stylists all the time when they say, I want to expand. I want to do parties. I want to increase my sales. I want to build a team. And I'm like, you have to do parties. And they're so scared. But I'm like, listen, nobody in that party knows how it's supposed to run except you.
Nope.
You get in
No.
there and you treat it like your VIP group. You have fun. And that's the bottom line. You
Yep.
share the polish. You have fun. That's all you have to do. It doesn't have to be a post at, a specific time every day, or, it is what it is. And you have to start messy to end up being excellent or professional, whatever people view,
Yeah.
the elder.
Let me tell you, I have a party right now that has been like a total dud. And part of it is because of me. I've been busy and I haven't had time to focus on it. So I reached out to my hostess and said, look, we're going to start this over. We're going to start fresh. I'm going to send out an invite to all these people again. And we're going to say, hey, we're meeting back here at this day and time. Let's try this over. Let's earn you some free nails. Let's get this done. And just be honest with them and say, hey, I'm sorry. This isn't how I wanted it to go, but let's try to make it better. And what do you guys need from me to help her earn what she wants?
Oh, I love that. I'm telling you, you have a servant heart. Like, I think anybody that has a heart to serve is bound for success, not just with this, but anything. It's
my life. I mean, I grew up in the church, so that's where I guess I learned it first and foremost. My dad, a little bit more about me. My dad's a minister, a retired minister. So, that service was a big thing growing up. We serve our Lord, and I know not everybody believes, but that's okay. But that's part of my message, is to serve him first. And when I do that, I receive more back.
yes.
So that's a big part of this business for me. Color Street came in, like I said, at a horrible time for me. COVID, I can't even explain what it's done for my life, my eyes, my occupation as a nurse, and my feelings for being a nurse and continuing to be a nurse. And I prayed long and hard that God would bring something into my life that would just rejuvenate me. And as I'm realizing each day, this is what it's been. Color Street has been that for me. And so for me, as a thank you, I give back. That's how I give back. So do I give a lot of stuff away? Yes. So sometimes I wonder, am I really making money? When it boils right down to it, to me, that doesn't necessarily matter. It's a bonus. It's a perk. But sharing with others something that I love, and sharing with others life, and life is busy. And you know what? It takes 15 minutes to put nails on Color Street on my nails, and it makes me such a happier person.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I tell people all the time. To have pretty nails, I don't do anything else for myself. I go get my hair done every once in a while, but pretty nails, I feel like a golden girl. Like, I can go on. I'm pretty. I don't have to wear makeup. My nails look great. People are looking at my hands. My nails look great. I don't care.
I love that, because honestly, my life most of the time is this. I don't wear makeup. I have my hair pulled up, but my nails are done, and I love, having something on our nails. And I truly do feel like, it's so much more than nail polish, because like you said, you build these relationships, and I don't know how many of my friends now I've met through Color Street, whether that's through my VIP group or through our team or through sideline sisters on other teams. But the people that I talk to now are people that I've met through Color Street. And it's so crazy because I'll mention a name and my husband says, well, who's that? One of my customers, or, that's another Color Street leader, or I met her through, and he's like, oh my gosh, like you have this huge community of people that you never had before. And it all started with the nail polish. And another thing I probably 80% of my VIPs, I friend request them so that I can not only have them in my group, but I follow them on social media. So I learn, do they have kids? Are they a grandparent? Do they have dogs? Like there's so many things that we connect with our VIPs aside from nail polish. And I'll have VIPs that send me personal messages of like cute baseball shirts or like baseball wreaths because they know I'm a baseball mom, or, they know about my dogs, or they know about my faith, or, they know these things about me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I get these messages and I'm like, this is why I'm doing this. Like,
yeah, definitely. It makes me
emotional talking about it.
And sometimes, that follow-up is just, like you said, friend requesting them on Facebook. And when you're scrolling through Facebook, they've posted something, commenting on it. They see that you're commenting and that you care because you're there. You're noticing them on Facebook. You're noticing their life and that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be Color Street.
Yeah.
I'm always posting on people's pictures of their kids, that their kids are cute, or, when they post something else, I always comment. I try, if I'm scrolling through Facebook, I try to comment on at least 15 to 20 posts. It doesn't have to be long, but something short and simple. They know that I'm there. And that's what matters. That's really what matters. So as far as juggling things, it's do what you can.
Yeah.
It's do what you can and make it worth your while. Make it worth your while. Make it important, and make it focused.
Yeah. I think that's 100% accurate. And I think too, is just like you have mentioned several times, is this is your thing. Like you do this for you and you have fun with it. You're passionate about it. You love what you do. And I think that when you get away from that and it becomes more of work, I think that's when you have to do, just like you said, step back, walk away, come back and reassess, because when you are no longer having fun with this, there's a disconnect somewhere. You got to figure out, what it is that's going on. And sometimes that means step back and reevaluate things. Maybe you're trying to do too much. So maybe you're at a busy season of your life and all you can do is keep your VIP group functioning and follow up with your VIPs and connect with your VIPs. Maybe this season of your life, you don't have time for parties. You don't have time to share the opportunity. You don't have time to lead a team. Whatever your season looks like, you take the business and make it what you can. And I think when you do have that free time, you have to be intentional about it. You have to know, okay, while I'm at work today, I get 2 15-minute breaks and a 30-minute lunch break. So I'm going to take my lunch break for me. I'm not going to do anything, but on those 2 15-minute breaks, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you go into it prepared, you know what you're going to do and you make the most of it. So at the same time, also being prepared to give yourself grace. Like you said several times, do what you can. You may have a list of 3 things and you get number 1 and number 2 done, but you can't get to number 3. Okay, try to fit it in later in that day. If you can't, there's always tomorrow. You have to do what you can do and not overwhelm yourself, because when you stop having fun, there's really not a lot that you can do with it. I think you have to really have fun. And even though now, this business has taken me to a place that I had not planned as far as high level leadership, I still have fun every single day. Yes, I put a lot more time into this business now because of leading a big team and having my personal business and having evolving leaders under me. So I'm split in different directions, but I have adjusted and evolved as my business has. So I just feel like you really have to be intentional with it and you have to keep a strong why. And your why that you said at the beginning about the Hawaii, I'm like, that's just on my bucket list for my family. If I can go to a place that has mountains and a beach, I may not come back home. I'm just saying.
It's hard. It's hard to come back home. My mom, for us, it's easy for us to go. My mom and dad have timeshare there. So they're there at least 4 weeks every February, March. So for me and my husband and my girls to go, it's really just the flight. to get over there. So that's why I said my initial goal was just to have those 4 tickets for us to get there by the end of this year. And like I said, I'm over halfway there already. So it's just, that's just spending money and money for the future. So the one thing I was going to say is I do sometimes get overwhelmed with my time and overwhelmed with my list of things to do, not only Color Street, but mom life, work life, that kind of thing. And I have to find a balance. And sometimes it's like I said before, just walking away, doing something totally different than any of those things to clear my mind and think about, okay, what do I need to focus on first? What needs to be done first? It's nice out. Another passion of mine is being out in the flower gardens. Mine are about ready. So I do a lot of things out there too. I set a lot of timers in my life. Okay. If I have a lot to do, I will write down for the day, when my kids are at school, they leave at this hour and they're coming home at this hour. Once they're home, it's hard to focus on things. We're busy running. They want this, they want that. It's being a mom. So I have set hours during the day when I'm home from work. So I will say I have this to this time to work on this. I have this to this time to work on this. Now, sometimes I do 2 things at once? Yeah, I'll have laundry running, be working on Color Street, have dishes going in the dishwasher, all those things. Will I be out gardening and doing stuff outside and doing Color Street? Yeah, because I'll be listening to training, sitting there with my phone as I'm digging weeds. That's just my life. That's how it works. And that's how being cognizant of what you want to do and what you need to get done and finding how it works together. Sometimes you have to double up. Is that wrong? No. Is it right? Maybe not, but that's what works for me.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Just finding what works for you and being comfortable with, fitting it into your life and just rolling with it. So this has all been very, very good. I'm so excited that you shared. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We're right over 30 minutes. I try to keep most of the trainings around 30 minutes, but sometimes we talk a little more. So thank you so, so much, Kylene. And we will talk to you all later.
Yeah. Have a good day, everybody.